Guys, it's Cubing with Ezra. Today is part 2 of my CFOP series. And today we'll be doing F2L. So let's give our cubes a nice scramble and let's solve cross. And if you haven't seen my cross video, go check that out because you need to know cross. So, we'll solve cross real quick, and then we get into the first two layers. So the goal of the first two layers is to make these chunks, and let me just show you what it would look like on a cube. So we have these chunks done, and yeah, that's F2L, where you put the corner and the edge in together. This is the most important step to CFOP, and it eliminates the worst part of beginner's method, or at least one of the worst parts of beginner's method. OLL is pretty bad. So I'm gonna resolve the cross since I mixed it up again, and here we go. So the basic premise of F2L is to make 4 specific patterns. So I'll do all of them on blue and orange. So we have our white, blue, and orange corner like this, and our blue, orange, and blue edge right there, as you can see. So if I do R or U, R prime, it inserts both of those. And that's one of our 4 simple algorithms. And we try to simplify everything to one of these 4 states. So this one again, R, U, R prime, and it will insert both of these. And so there's a couple others. F, U prime, F prime, E, U prime, F, and it'll insert it like that. The other type, and this is the much more common type, is you have this chunk. Blue, blue, orange, orange with the white corner like this. And so, as you can see, it's lined up with the blue center. We actually want this lined up with the orange center, but if you line it up with the blue center, I'll do the U, R, U prime, R prime, and then it inserts that. And then the other one is F prime, U, F prime, or F. So yeah, those are our 4 basic notations. And so I won't go through all the F2L cases since there are 46 basic ones, like 76 more advanced ones, and then 169 for all of them. So I won't be going through all of that, but I'll teach you something called intuitive F2L, which is basically making one of these types of chunks that I showed. So yeah, that's intuitive F2L. So I'll be explaining how to do that. So the first goal is to get your pieces into the top layer. So, for example, say your piece is like this, right? Your corner piece is not in the top layer, but your edge piece is. So the first step is to get your corner out of the slot, or if it's your edge, get your edge out of the slot. So they're both in the top layer. And you can accomplish that by doing, if it's in your front right slot, you go R, U prime, R prime, and it gets both of them, whether it's an edge or a corner, into the top slot. Next, what you do is, there's a couple different cases. So this one, for example, you line blue up with blue, do R, U, R prime, and you get this chunk, which you can insert like that. But there are and there's another similar case, which is this, except the corner's over here, and you go R, U2, R prime, and then you get the chunk again. And so these are one of the few top cases. I believe there's like 8 top cases, but basically when the corner's 1 away and when the corner's 2 away, it's basically the same case. But yeah, so most of these you just want to pair them up like this. Now there's a couple. So the flip of this would be like this. So you have orange instead of blue, and you would go, in this case, you're going into the front right slot, you go F prime, U2, F, and then insert that one like normal. Or on the flip side, you go F, U prime, or F prime, U prime, F, and then insert like normal. So those are those couple of cases where the white edge faces the top. Now there's also a couple more. So say your edge faces where a different color is on top, but they aren't lined up correctly, because if I did that, the F prime, U prime, F insert, it doesn't line up. So what you can do is you move the corner to the back and go R, U prime, R prime. And then this sets them up for the F prime, U prime, F insert. So in case you didn't catch that, if this won't go for the F prime, U prime, F prime insert, you do this one. Now, the way to recognize that is if, in this case, orange is on top, but you would recognize if it's an F kind of insert, an F prime, U prime, F insert, you would recognize that by orange on top, or the front color on top. So if I was facing green, it'd be the green on top of the corner. And yeah, that's how you recognize that. And so there is another kind, which is kind of like the inverse of it. So for this one, you would recognize it from your right color on top, up, and the corner facing out with the edge when you do R, U R prime insert. It wouldn't insert with the correct one. So what you do is a very similar thing. So you move it over to your front color instead of your right color. You go F prime, U prime, or U, F. And then you do your R, U, R prime insert. And so this is probably the hardest case to recognize for the intuitive F2L, but once you get the hang of it, it's quite easy. So there's also the other kind of where they would be together. Here, let me get it to that. So as you can see, these are together wrong. So what you do is you hold this flipped chunk in the front, in the case that the corner's top color is on your right, and you go R prime, U2, R2, U, R prime. And then say this back slot is full, well, you'll just have to resolve the last case, but it comes up in this kind of chunk, so don't worry about that. And then there's the other kind. Wait, sorry. I'm trying to get this. sorry. Okay, there we go. So you'll recognize this one by a flip chunk, except if the front color is on top, you move it over to your back, R prime, R, U2, R prime, and then you have your F prime, U prime, F insert. And so those are the basic top cases. Well, actually, there's a couple more. Sorry, I realize that now. So, yeah. Let's actually flip to green and red to give you just a different perspective. And so this is another type of top chunk case right here. And so for this one, it's a little bit complicated, but basically you split them apart and then do one of the basic top cases. And for the last other two cases I showed you, you can split them apart, but it may be faster not to, if you can remember. But if you really don't want to, if you don't want to learn the alg, you can actually just split them apart like this and go back to a basic top case. And yeah, so basically there's 4 steps to intuitive F2L. Number 1 is get your edge piece and your corner piece into the top layer. So let me find an example. We'll do red. So we see the red blue right there in the top layer, and then we get the corner into the top layer. Next step is split them apart, which can be done by an R, U2, R prime, almost no matter the case. And then what you can do is then you pair them up to one of these kind of chunks, and then you insert it. And yes, that's basically all to intuitive F2L. And yeah, it's not too tricky. And if you have questions about some of the cases, I'll be happy to answer them. And yeah, that's all I have for intuitive F2L. Oh, and if you want solid algorithms, go to Ruwix and go to their F2L page, and you can print out all 46 cases if you want to learn the algorithm way. I personally believe learning intuitive is better at first, but learning algorithms is better as you get faster. I personally went with algorithms because I didn't know the intuitive way, but if I had known there was an intuitive way, I would have learned that first. And remember the 4 basic steps. Make both edge and corner piece is in the top layer, is number 1. Number 2, if you have to split them apart so they're not together in a chunk that isn't correct. Number 3, pair them up into a chunk or one of the other 3 move inserts. And then number 4 is insert them. And that's basically all the F2L. I hope this video is helpful, and if you want more, please subscribe and give a like. And if this video is unhelpful and confusing you in any way, then let me know in the comments and I'll try to fix that. And maybe I'll do another F2L video if enough of you say it's too confusing. So yeah, that's all.